Hello everyone, today let's explore group functions, which are also known as aggregate or multiple row functions, little more deeper. So we're gonna discuss what are group functions, what are their uses, using group by clause and using having clause. So without wasting any time, let's get started and jump on to our first topic. Our first topic is what is group function. Well, group functions operate on set of rows to give one result per group. With this I mean to say that in group function all rows are summed up together or operated together to give you one output. Like in this example, if I'm saying sum of salary, all these 7 rows will be processed together and one output will be given. That is group function. If you remember single row function used to give us one result per row, whereas multiple row function will process multiple rows at a time and will give you only one output. So guys, most of the time in our job we use group functions, and these group functions are sum, min, max, count, average. These group functions really help us to make our task or job very easy. Sum gonna add everything as the name suggests, whereas min will represent minimum value of the expression, max will give you maximum value out of the expression, count will count number of rows under a particular column, average will give you average result of a calculation. So guys, I will give you exposure on each and every function individually. First, let us understand how we use group function. So select group function and in bracket you will write that column name on which you want to implement it. And from table name, it's as simple as writing a select command. The only thing is you are combining function with it. In simple words, if I want sum of all salaries, I will write select sum salary from table name. Instead of writing select salary from table name, I just combine sum function with it. So it will give me sum of all salaries. This is how we write group function. Now I'm in score schema and I'm going to show you EMP tables content. So select star from EMP. Alright, so you can clearly see we have salary column under it. Now let's see how we can use sum function on salary column. I have to write select sum, name of the column on which I want to implement it. It's quite clear with the name that sum function will work on the column whose data type is number, because we cannot perform mathematical operations on any characters. And then from its table name, it clearly gave me sum of all salaries. So we have 14 rows under salary, and after processing 14 rows, output is only one row, which is the identity of multiple row functions. So multiple row functions process multiple rows and will give you one output, as in this case. So next function is average function. You can implement average function same way like we implemented sum function. So I will simply replace sum with average. You can see it's an average of salary after adding all the salaries and divided by number of salaries. Same way we can use min function, but min function we can use with characters, numbers and date also. Like in case of average and sum function, we can use only with number data type. So here I'm going to write select min salary from EMP. It displayed me minimum salary out of the lot. You can see here minimum salary is first salary, which is 800. So I got answer as 800 as minimum salary. If I'll replace minimum with maximum, it's going to give me maximum salary out of the lot. So maximum salary is 5,000. We can verify it. So King is having maximum salary, which is 5,000. Next set of function is count function. Count function gonna count how many rows are there under particular column. For example, suppose I want to see how many people are there in my company from this EMP table. Basically, I want to count how many rows are there under employee number column. So I will write select count employee number. So count function will count number of rows under employee number column from table name. So it should give me 15 because we can see there are 15 rows under employee number column. So count function most of the time we use whenever your query is related to some counting, like how many people are working in company, how many people are earning more than 10,000. So whenever this how many term is there, we will use count function. Now suppose I want to see sum of salary as well as department number of EMP table. For this I will simply write select sum salary, comma, department number from EMP. But you can see if I'll write this, sum of salary gonna give me one row as output, whereas department number will give me 15 rows. So this is data insufficiency. How come one row will balance 15 rows? So let's see the answer. Oracle server is giving me error like not a single group function. Means sum is not a single row function, sum is multiple row function, and it's going to give you one output. So how come one output from sum of salary going to balance 15 outputs from department number? So that's why this statement is giving me error. So let's rectify it and look for the solution. And solution is using group by clause. We already saw if we try to fetch sum of salary with department number, it's giving me error message because of the obvious reason. But if we have to resolve it, we have to use group by clause. Now we can see salary is already being grouped by sum. Sum is adding all the salaries and giving you one output, whereas department number is not being grouped by anything. So in order to group department number, we use group by clause. Now question arises, what is group by clause? Well, group by clause is one of the 6 clauses. It's at 4th position and this is optional clause. Whatsoever column you have specified under group by, duplicate value under that column will make one group. Like in our example, we have to write department number with group by clause because salary is already being grouped and we have to group department number. So my query will be group by department number. In this, duplicate values of department number will make one group. Like department number 30 had made one group and their sum of salary is displayed in front of them. Department number 20 will make one group and department number 10 will also make one group and their respective sum of salaries will be displayed in front of them. So this is how we use group by clause. If you are selecting any column with multiple row function and other column without function, like in this case department number is not an argument of any function. So that particular column you must use in group by clause for obvious reasons, because salary is already being grouped with the help of some function, whereas department number is not being grouped. So we have to perform grouping of department number with the help of group by clause. Next is using having clause. So in order to make better understanding of having clause, I'm going to say 2 statements in front of you and you have to figure out the difference between them. My first statement is find out department number of employee whose salary is greater than 3000. And my second statement is find out department number of employee whose sum of salary is greater than 3000. Difference is pretty clear. In first statement, I'm just asking salary greater than 3000, whereas in my second statement, I'm saying sum of salary is greater than 3000. Means in my second statement, first I have to sum salary and then condition will be implemented. Whereas in my first statement, we are just implementing condition. So there is no grouping in first statement. In simple words, having clause is used to apply condition on group or aggregate functions, whereas where clause is used to apply condition on column only. Whenever you are applying condition on group function like sum of salary, average salary, min of some column, max of some column, count of some column, we will use having clause. Whereas if you are simply applying condition on columns like salary, department number, we will use where clause. Like in this case, suppose I want to see sum of salary, department number of employees whose sum of salary is greater than 10,000. We can clearly see from our answer, it's only department number 20 whose sum of salary is greater than 10,000. So for this, I'll write same statement with having clause. Having clause is one of the 5th clause in the list of SQL clauses and their sequence should always be same. So we cannot write having clause first and then group by. First we have to specify group by and then we can mention having clause. So here we will write after group by, we'll write having sum salary greater than 10,000. And you can see result, it's only department number 20 which is satisfying this condition. So guys, this is how we work on having and group by. It's very important for you to understand difference between group by and having clause, because in most of the interviews this question is really very common. So guys, that's all about multiple row function. This is my advice. Please keep on practicing these functions, because more you will practice, more you're going to understand it. And from interview point of view also, this topic is really very important. Alright guys, I'll see you in my next video. Till that time, please keep on practicing and implementing it. Thank you.